92.7 The X. Believe it or not, we do have rock stars in the studio. Lit here in studio. How are you guys doing?
What's up, Oklahoma?
Oklahoma weather is a little bit different than Southern California.
It feels really nice today, man. This is great weather.
Very hot in California.
Yeah, it's like 105 at home right now, so this feels good.
You guys got lucky because the last time you and I talked, it was 105 here. And we hadn't had rain in probably 6-8 months.
Yeah.
And so finally, it's just now finally getting where we're getting rain and the ground's not crunchy. You know, my grass isn't all crispy outside, which is I'm thankful for.
That's my alarm when I come home from tour. It's like, got to tell my girl how to run the sprinklers, and she never quite gets it right. But
we nearly had a crisis last week when they came out and said due to the drought that there was a corn shortage. Therefore, pig farmers were having a serious issue where we might really have a bacon shortage next year, and that nearly brought me to my knees. I was about to cry. But have no fear, it came out today that there is not going to be a bacon shortage 2013. I know you guys were all worried. It's okay.
We had a shitload of bacon this morning.
Gonna be okay, yeah.
Now let's talk about the absence of Lit for a little while. You guys have been gone for a few years and kind of now getting back out and touring and doing it like you were before, because I remember you guys being on the road almost nonstop, it seemed like.
Yeah. I mean,
We road dogged it for a few years, and then, we never really stopped doing Lit. We just had some life get in the way a little bit here and there. And, we always kept writing music and playing shows here and there. But yeah, it feels good to be back in a tour bus and going from town to town.
Now let's talk about the new record, just released. The reception seems to be really well. I know the people of Ardmore seem to really dig it, and the Broken especially. I'm now getting to where I get requests on a daily basis for that song.
Awesome,
man. That's great.
How long did it take for you guys to write that record? I mean, you had a lot of time off, but how did you weed through all the material to really focus it and narrow it down?
We've always, when we start writing a record, we usually write the body of the record, and that's it. We didn't really have a whole lot of extra tracks, a lot of throwaway stuff. But it took us a while to get to that point where we were ready to write this record. Like Jeremy said, we were doing other little projects. Kevin had a side band. We were working, writing songs with other, for country band. Jeremy was writing some country. We were writing all kinds of stuff. But then we started making Lit music, and this record just came together really quick.
Sidebar: you wrote for some country artists?
Yeah.
Who did you write for?
Well, I do. I have a place out there. I have it's like my second home in Nashville.
Oh, nice.
I've had cuts with Jamie Johnson, Colt Ford, Heidi Newfield, John Michael Montgomery, few people, a few cats.
I didn't realize that. I literally had no idea. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I love it out there, and I love country music.
I love Nashville. Nashville is one of my favorite places to go.
Good town.
Good people, good town.
The Paradise Park right there on Broadway. You can't beat $3 pitchers and Natty Light. They're just, I'm a sucker for a cheap drink special. When I walk in and I see that, whether I want to drink it or not, my inner self-conscious tells me, you can't pass that up.
They're practically giving it away at that point.
Right, I always feel like I win, even though the next morning, not so much. What's your favorite place to go in Nashville? Like 12th and Porter, or do you have?
No, Red Door is kind of our spot,
Dude, I had the French bread pizza there. That place is awesome.
Best pizza in the world, man. My favorite pizza of all time is Red Door pizza. I don't know if it's because I'm so hammered every time I eat it, but
we just had a fan drive us some Red Door pizza. How far did she drive?
She drove 4 hours to see us in wherever we were a couple nights ago.
That is amazing.
She brought Red Door
pizza.
We
ate it cold, and we were just like, it still tasted pretty good.
Oh, it was Indianapolis.
That's a pretty good drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was pretty cool.
How has the tour been with Buck Cherry?
Awesome.
You're gonna have to get a little closer, Kevin. Kevin, talk to folks on YouTube.
It has been awesome. I think it's a great package. Both bands bring it, so it's been really cool. That's
the one thing that I was really excited about, because both bands are very high energy live and take pride in making that show over the top and all of that. So I'm pretty stoked to see the transition, because I've seen Buck Cherry with a lot of bands that don't have that energy level, and I didn't know if it was by design, but when I saw this package, I was like, oh, they're going to have their hands full. They're really going to have to step up to the plate. Do you think that has to do with being kind of from the same music scene where you guys started?
I think so. I mean, we that's kind of what I've been saying is like we grew up on the same, we started out pretty young, both bands, and playing Hollywood, and because there was really nowhere else to play where we were from, Orange County, all ages wise. So we go up there, but we got our school on just a big putting an arena rock show into a small club, and it's just something that we don't know any different, and we wouldn't have any fun doing it any other way. I think that's kind of what kept this band going for we're going like over 20 years or something now, is just making it a fun time on stage.
How does it feel when you look at it as the band being around 20 years?
It makes me feel old, but it's crazy. I look at these guys and I see some gray hair popping through here and there, but I feel like everyone's kind of like this. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm around them every day, but we're still kids. It feels like we get out there, and the energy on this tour and in the last 7 weeks of Summerline tour is probably some of the highest energy shows we've ever had. So I'm like, well, it's rock and roll. Maybe drinking every night that's keeping us young.
You're pulling a Keith Richards. It kept him young.
Something, man. There's something in that bottle. I don't know.
What
and we got a young drummer brings down the common denominator.
The gray hairs are really coming out.
Yeah, his hair started to. Yeah.
Do you ever ask them to pull out their AARP cards when you're out on tour?
You never, man. If it gets us a discount at the hotels, when can we sign up for that? Yeah.
Off of the new record, what is your favorite songs to play live?
We've been doing we have kind of short sets on this tour. I mean, actually in the last tour as well. We haven't gone out really done a big headlining tour yet, so we're kind of keeping it trimmed down to a couple new songs, and we're playing it because a lot of people want to hear all the old songs too. But we've been doing the Broken for the past couple tours, and it's just got a great big anthem feel live, and the crowd from day one was really receptive to that one.
That's actually why that song is the single right now. Because we originally was going to be You Tonight,
right?
But when we got out on the road, people dig that song too, and we love that song too. But the reaction to the Broken was so much. It was one of those kind of undeniable things that we were noticing, which is kind of how we always picked our singles in the past. You can kind of you finish a record and then you try to pick what you think is going to be the first single, and it's kind of hard when you got 12 songs on there that you feel passionate about each one. And I feel like it's until you get out there and play it for the fans and see the reaction, it's kind of hard to know what song people want to hear. And then I think the Broken too kind of has a kind of an anthem, kind of a meaning that kind of holds true right now, just with everything that's going on in this country.
Very much so. That's the one thing that I noticed for sure, is it definitely relates to what's going on around us.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about working with Butch Walker. I mean, he's one of the biggest pop sensibilities as far as producers go when it comes to making records, and has for a long time. Now, I know you guys had wanted to work with him for a while. How did all that come about on the new record?
Great timing. I know that, schedule-wise, for him and us both. But we've been friends for a long time, and it was something that we knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but we're glad that we were able to pull it, especially on this record, because we have some songs like The Broken and a song called Come On that are very sort of big rock sounding, more like it's kind of a Mutt Lange approach in a way, and Butch Walker's probably one of the best at doing that.
I would completely agree with that. There's just something about his writing and the way he produces records. He knows how to make the songs kind of stand out hook-wise, makes that chorus just kind of scream over the top of everything. And
he's great.
We had fun with making some of the rock, like AJ said, The Broken and Come On, and some of the songs that really have that big kind of just rock sound. We didn't try to we weren't flipping through Billboard going, well, hey, what's popular right now on the radio, let's try to make it sound like that. Like, we went for it. We just went for big giant guitars and big fat drums and waving the rock flag.
I don't feel like you guys have ever been that band. I feel like you guys have always kind of stayed true to what you do and done it very well, and it just happened to work at the time. Yeah, and I think that's why I've been a lifelong fan, is because you've always been true to your roots and what you've done. You've stuck with it. You make big giant anthems and big huge crunchy guitars, and catchy songs, and they're party songs. You know,
Yeah.
even if the subject matter isn't, you make them where that's the song that people put on when they're throwing a giant house party.
That's badass.
Or at least
Yeah, I appreciate that.
At least that's what I did when I was 21 years old and in college, and miserable and My Own Worst Enemy were coming out. Those were those jams that we put on and cranked up and pounded an entire keg in one night.
But we're still doing it every night.
Yeah.
That's about
No, and it's cool too now. Even we meet a lot of people every night. We meet people that talk about those years, you know, and whether it was high school or college, or a lot of fans come out now. They're like, I was in junior high when that record came out, and I couldn't quite come out and party with you guys, but it's a really cool feeling to have had that, you know. I mean, a song like My Worst Enemy still gets played so much.
All across the country in multi-formats.
Yeah. We kind of joke about it. We're like, man, if our new single got played half as much as My Worst Enemy, we'd have a hit, you know.
And
But
that's true.
It's a gift, though. I mean, it's cool to be able to have had that sort of stamp on radio or on music or on someone's keg party, you know.
You guys were one of those bands that really kind of defined that era. I mean, when you look back at the songs that were big at that time, those are songs that still get played to this day, you know. And how many bands have you guys toured with or helped with that never had that sort of opportunity or even that much success or that much radio play or even the ability to reach that massive an audience?
It's crazy. Well, it's crazy to have to be able to have a platinum record hanging on my wall at home, and to think that, you know, physical copies of records aren't really being sold like that. I mean, to sell, you know, now it's all about downloads, and I don't know what that plaque looks like yet, but I'm pretty stoked to have a big record on the wall, you know.
That's a big thing, you know, when you think about it. Back in that time, the big pop acts, it was all boy bands. It was NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Those people were selling, you know, tens of millions of records.
Ridiculous, I know.
Pop acts nowadays aren't selling near those numbers. So, you know, and rock numbers are even less and less. So you guys are very fortunate that you were kind of around of the surgence of when people actually went to record stores and bought music just because they loved it.
Yeah, and got to make crazy videos, man. That's something that we're gonna, you know, we haven't given up on the idea of making a killer video for this record, but you know, to actually walk into MTV and hand them a video and have it, you know, being played during the day is something that sucks. It isn't there anymore either, but you definitely go to YouTube and see some crazier videos now.
And see, that's what we were talking about earlier, was how over the top your videos were. When you look at Ziploc, you know, with the parody, and you've got Dee Snider at the beginning of it. Whose idea was that?
He's great, dude. But
I actually wrote the treatment for that, and in the treatment, I put the Dee Snider will play the father. I'm thinking, you know, not in a million years, but that was the, you know, when when we turned it in, they got a hold of him, and he was like, yeah. He flew out to L.A. from New York, and then he came out and stayed with us on our last tour in Long Island. Did I Want to Rock with us?
That's awesome.
Epic, man.
Insane. But we've been good friends with him ever since. He's a great guy.
Is he still doing the radio show that he used to do? This, he had the syndicated metal show
House
for a
of
long
Hair
time.
or something?
Yeah,
I think so.
I always wondered about that. Then on top of that, you got to do a video with Pam Anderson in it.
Amazing. That was another one of those things. It's just like a fluke. We're like, well, it doesn't hurt to ask. And we had already been doing her television show, that VIP. I don't know if you ever saw us in that. Kind of ridiculous, but we were hanging out with her for like 8 hours a day on set, and it just got to a point where it was time to make a new video, and someone had a crazy idea, a director, this idea about us playing on a giant woman, and we're just like thinking it was gonna be some cheesy model or something. I was like, that's the most ridiculous idea we've ever heard of. And then someone said, maybe we get Pam to play the girl, and we'll do it. And sure enough, you know, she was cool with it, and she ended up spending like 15 hours on set. Didn't charge us a dime. Just
wow,
just
really?
Great, just a really cool chick.
That just proves that point to heart, that if you see a really smoking hot chick and you just automatically assume she's going to say no, it never hurts to ask.
Sure doesn't.
You got a 50-50 shot at it.
Absolutely.
Well, let's give away a pair of tickets, and let's give away some meet and greet passes for the show tonight to come, so fans can come back and meet you guys. Right. And why don't you introduce the Broken?
This is our new single. Brand new lit, The Broken.
Turn it up a little bit.
Sweet.